All right, please welcome everybody. Two very special guests to the FitPass Podcast show today. We have Charro and Saad, and we would like to welcome them to the show. They are the owners of Z-Pulse Fitness here in Findlay, Ohio, and also Z-Pulse Fitness in Fostoria. And we have a very special show lined up for you today on how to choose a good fitness trainer, fitness trainers that when you take a class, what to look for when you're going to their classes, and how to vet and screen them. So everybody, please welcome Charro and Ali. Welcome, guys. Thanks for jumping on.
Hey, thanks for having us today.
How are you?
We're gonna get him in there.
Yeah, what's up, Ali?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great.
Great. You get that heater fixed?
I'm not lucky with that.
I'm right there with you, man. It's like whatever those skills are, I was definitely not blessed with like any sort of like home fixing hardware, any of that. Yeah. I miss that whole thing. If anything breaks, I'm like, I call my dad instantly. But
yeah,
cool. So how did you guys get started? In the fitness business and in Z-Pulse, and what's kind of your background and your story?
So my background, I'll let you talk a little bit here in a second, and then I've always been into different dance, and I went to med school. I just studied always going to the gym and doing different things, and right. I actually found Zumba. And when I was at the gym, it was like, in the evening, I was there at the gym, and I was just attracted to the music, and I just kind of followed it in. I was like, what are these people doing in here dancing? And right. So actually that's where we got back into the fitness together as a team. So Ali, he is a professional soccer player, international, always been an athlete. Yeah. I
don't know if I knew that. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, semi-pro in Detroit. So when he came to the States, he said, he's always been an athlete, and I always been, into the fitness and into, the dance is really what caught my eye, because I saw them having fun. Right. I was on the elliptical, and I was just like not having a great time, and looking around and just checking out the scenery, and these people were having a great time. So I went in there, I checked it out, and that's really how I found it. And then, at the time, I still had a lot of weight to lose. And I thought, I'm going to wait till I get down to my goal weight before I start teaching these classes, because I found one online, went and got certified. And, before I used to work at, like they had curves and like the Bodygenics and, when I was younger. So I knew it was something I love, group fitness. So that's really how I got into it. Taught my first class, and there was 40 some people there, and so we kind of just grew from there. And people really liked watching that I was on the journey with them. And then Ali got involved, and he's an athlete, and he's just totally, just shines at any fitness program that he's tried to do. So
he won the genetic lottery on that part, right? It's just a natural athlete, right? Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's cool. Well, I couldn't agree more with you. And like so what year was this when you first got started doing, you're like, I know there's a better way than standing on this elliptical doing this. I see these people having fun. What year did you first get started in Zumba?
In 2011.
That was 2011. Awesome. It's been around for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been an entrepreneur since, I've been young. So, when I saw the opportunity for this to become, Ali actually lost his job. They closed, and, I was looking, I just knew that I didn't want to work in a hospital for 90 hours a week. And, so I was, I saw the opportunity. We were growing, and it kind of just fell in our lap.
Yeah, that's incredible. So what year did you open Z-Pulse there here in downtown Findlay, right there on Main Street? What year did you open that?
Yeah, 2012.
2012. Okay. And then you have a big announcement. You just opened a Fostoria location.
Yeah. We've been there actually almost a year now, but we have that facility there, and it's actually twice as big as the one in Findlay. Awesome. It's a beautiful facility. Yeah, there's a nutrition club inside of it. So it's kind of like the same models we have here in Findlay, and the class has been on fire.
Love it. Love it. Good for you guys. I mean, I think you guys are doing a great thing. I think every time I pop up my Facebook feed and see any photo or video of your guys' class, there's a lot of people in there, just like what you said, looking like they're having fun. The music is loud, the environment's good. And that's like the one thing I always hear from people after they go and take classes, or even like FitPass users who go there and take classes. And they're like, they just love like the energy of the atmosphere. Like the energy there is just, they said it's just off the charts. That's like one of the first things they say is how much fun they have, and the music's loud and they can just feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what we gear for, is just to make everybody like they come in and, and at the same time, it's not for everybody, we're totally full of energy. The music's loud. Sometimes we got the lights going. People are just, you're really just kind of like family when you come in. So,
yeah.
The loud music and the stuff. I tell everybody, maybe it's not for everybody, but, we have all ages, all fitness levels. We have anybody from, 13 to 70 in our classes.
Awesome.
So,
awesome. I think that's a big thing that you touched on earlier, is like the studio fitness style and like the group fitness style. Cause like, if you look at really the fitness world, like a lot of what's happening are people are finally flocking to like these, or maybe it's been happening over the last couple of years, but everyone's kind of flocking to like these family oriented, studio based fitness facilities, and they're kind of getting away from like the big box gym, because what's working and what's getting people results is exactly what you're saying. Like when they come in, they're a part of a community, they're part of a family, their name, you know their kids' names. When they don't come to class, you're like, oh hey, where were you? Like, you reach out, and then they're doing it with other people who are just like them, they're like-minded, they're on the same mission, there's a professional leading the class, and like that right there is just the best recipe for success, I think. Rather than just somebody going in on their own who's not a fitness trainer, they don't know what to do, and they maybe bench press and they jump on the elliptical, and then, maybe they do, the leg press machine and they go home, they just don't know what to do. Which kind of leads me into the topic of today is, what should, and this is the whole topic of the show is, what should somebody look for when hiring a fitness professional, when taking a class with a fitness professional? What should they look for in a trainer? What are the attributes that are going to lead them to success? You're going to lead them injury-free. What do you guys think is something, if somebody's interested in taking a fitness class and they say, hey, XYZ instructor's leading it, what are the qualities they should look for?
I always tell when people get called, and they're, want information, I always tell them the first thing is make sure they're certified, and that their certification is legit, because you want to be safe. You don't want to have an injury. You want somebody that knows exactly what they're doing. Also, look at, I always tell everybody, check out the social media, see how active, like what people are saying about them, and how many people are following them, and what their class attendance looks like, and what their, what people are really on their website, what people saying about them, and what kind of results they've gotten. Yeah.
I could not agree more with, I think, this is really kind of basic and cliche to say, but I couldn't agree with more. Like, is the instructor, do they have insurance? One, are they certified? Two, like just basic core principles, because like, I feel like even today, and we kind of touched on this before we started recording, was like, anybody with a Facebook page and account can say that they're a fitness trainer today. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm a fitness professional. Okay. You made a post last week saying you're a fitness professional. How many people have you trained? And it's like, well, 0. And so then you get on there and you can kind of validate whether or not they're a good fitness professional with how many before and after photos do they have? What are their clients saying about them? How many 5-star reviews do they have? Are people saying this place stinks, I got hurt? Or are they saying this place is amazing, and I've been working out here for 3 years, I'm injury free? So I think that's really important. I also think putting it back on like the client's shoulders is like, what is their goal? Because if they haven't established their goal, if their goal is to do, I don't know, X, Y, or Z, say they want to, lose body fat, but they're looking at a powerlifting gym, because everybody's like, hey, come join this powerlifting gym, and their goal is to lose weight. Like, yeah, that powerlifting gym might work, but it might not be the most effective approach for them to get to their goal the fastest, where maybe coming and taking a class at Z-Pulse there, where they're doing, that Zumba is probably going to get them to that specific weight loss goal first before they, go and deadlift heavy and back squat heavy and do all this heavy weightlifting. So I think that's important for people to know is, why are they walking into the gym? So I think that's pretty big for people. And some people don't even know that sometimes. They're just kind of out squirting around, or maybe their friend told them, hey, come try this class. They're like, oh, okay, I'll go try it. But a lot of people need to establish that, I think, off the get-go.
Yeah, and I think, and I agree 100%. I also, I know Ali's big on variety, you know?
Yeah.
What kind of variety they have. And, you know, a lot of times there's a lot of online certifications, and has, you know, if you're getting certified for that, you know, specific program, because, you know, like with us, we get, you know, we do certifications to do group fitness, you know, and then we did the, you know, National Academy of Sports Medicine for the training. But, you know, we focus more on the group fitness, where like personal training, we do it, but it's not really our thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So like if it's going to be someone's good fit, would be somebody's good fit to come in there would be like, hey, do the class. And it's kind of like what you guys are more experienced with. So maybe they would get a better, you know, fast results, a better end on it. So,
right. Or if, you know, somebody's like, hey, you know, I want to.
The instructors are always here for questions and answers, because when somebody walks in, I mean, I'm not their personal trainer, but at the same time, I don't mind answer your questions, because that's my part of my job still. Being certified is the number one thing, safety, and you have to really have the answers to a lot of things, because they don't know what they need. They just go with the flow.
That's very true.
Until you go to the gym, you don't have an instructor on your hand all the time. You might be doing something wrong, and some other person just laughing at you because they're more into it and they know more about it.
They're more experienced.
They're more experienced, and then they're looking at you like you're not doing it right. So rather than just helping, it become a laugh, and then that guy will kill the atmosphere. It will tear him down.
Right.
Just
so for instance, if somebody wanted to come and do CrossFit, we're not,
that's a really good point.
We're going to say, hey, call up Michael, because that's not our specialty. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I totally agree. I think I really like what Ali said about how is the atmosphere, what atmosphere is that trainer creating? Because if that, I love that you mentioned that, because I think if that atmosphere that trainer's creating isn't a positive atmosphere for that person, then, you know, they don't belong in there. Or if it's not a positive atmosphere for anybody in the class, like, you know, how is a trainer laying out the class? Do they have people lifting weights, you know, a foot from each other, you know, or are they watching people doing, you know, what maybe it's a deadlift where they're having to bend over and keep their back flat, or are they, you know, playing around on their phone trying to find the next best song to play? So like, I think the atmosphere and how that instructor leads the class is extremely important. I love that he touched on that. And I think sometimes too is like, there's sometimes
sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good. You're doing your thing. It's like the phone calls are coming in. You're fine. It's
okay. Okay, there you go. Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're great. Yeah, so I think sometimes even just I guess it's hard to know, like when you're looking at a gym, you're looking at taking a fitness class, you know, how to determine whether or not this trainer is going to be a good trainer. Because like what Ali said, like sometimes the people don't even really know, you know, they don't know what they need. They just need led by somebody, and they need to be led by somebody who is going to get them to their goals the safest way and the fastest way. What about like layout of the gym? You know, when somebody comes in and takes a class, like how important is it to the user's perspective on like how the gym is laid out for like the class to flow? Like, would you say that has like a big importance, whether you're doing stations or so, and, you know, the stations are set in a safe way throughout the gym that people can navigate through easily, and, you know, maybe the stations are numbered so people know which one to go to next, or, you know, just little things like that. How important do you think that is to like having a successful class, or for people to look for that?
I feel like it's very important. I know when we first started, you know, a lot of people, you know, we were just jam-packed in here because we really didn't offer a lot of classes.
Yeah.
You know, and the more people, we just had to cut people off and say, you know, that's really how we started growing, is we had to add more classes, because if you have, you know, 70 people in a facility that holds 40, you know, great for the instructor, but not great for the clients. Right. They can't move, they can't get effective workout. And the same thing with, you know, training, doing circuit trainings, you know, if you don't have the experience and you're just doing some type of boot camp, and, you know, you have 40 people in a place that has, you know, limited to 20, you know, for instance, if you're doing strength training, you know, it's just, or you're maybe, you know, you're outside and you're in the grass, or you're, you know, you're doing, you know, just different things that really, you know, causes safety issues.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And just even like to some really basic stuff is like, you know, you walk in a place, like how clean is the gym? Like, is the, you know, one thing that I think I heard this from, I forget where I heard this, but I think it was like a mentor or somebody that might've said this, is like, you know, one way you can tell if the gym truly cares, he's like, is walk into the gym and like, how clean are their bathrooms? He's like, the first thing you can do above all else, like if they don't care enough to clean their bathrooms for their clients, then like, they're probably not going to care enough about the workout they're creating, or about providing the best experience, or continuously educating their coaches. You know what I mean? They're sending them to more certifications and stuff. He's like, that's, you know, it's kind of funny to say, but it's like a really basic way for somebody to tell how, I guess, invested, you know, those owners are, or those trainers are into the gym.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree too. Like we always say, we know when we've had the classes this place has been turned upside down, because
totally,
it is a mess.
Yeah. At the end of the night, totally agree. Yep.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with it. I mean, you know, if you have a lot of traffic, especially, you know, we have a lot of ladies, and you know, they're in the bathroom and they're changing after work and they're fixing their makeup, and you know, like it gets messy. So you have to, you just definitely got to double check and make sure that the gym is clean, the equipment is cleaned, especially this time, you know, of the season. You know, we're right here, like we have our sanitary wipes. We've been wiping everything down after everybody leaves after each class, because you know, you don't want to big.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that you just said that. That's one thing that we do in my gym too, that I will say does not happen enough. That is so, like, especially in the wintertime, right? Like your hands, after, you know, people are sweating, they're wiping their face, they're drinking their water, you know, they're maybe coughing or sneezing, and then like they touch your equipment, you know what I mean? And like, I love that you just said, just having people wipe off stuff at the end of class, like that little bit goes a long, long way. This is a kind of a crazy story, but I'll tell it on here in the recording. I had a lady at my gym one time. She moved from, I forget where she moved from. It was somewhere like near Cleveland. And she told me, she goes, I've been at this gym for a year and I haven't gotten ringworm once. She said, I was at my old gym and I got it twice. And she was only there for like 6 months. She got ringworm twice. I was like, oh, well, yeah, we clean stuff every day. So yeah, just like little things. I know, crazy, right? And you saying that just reminded me. Yeah.
This is one of my big concern here at the studio. As much as people in and out, I don't know these people. I don't know what they got. They don't, you know, these things effective easy. So I chose to buy those Lysol and spray the dumbbells and spray everything, kettlebells and all the mats. Yeah. Because those pretty much the lot you've been able to touch. Because hand sanitizer is always around. It's easy to just spray on your hand, you know, keep your hands clean as much as possible. It's one of my concerns a lot. Like, I like the bathroom to be clean, because there's so many women that are going to walk in here and say, hey, there's something is missing in here. Well, thank you for noticing. I'll get back on it quick. So this way, it's not something that doesn't happen. It does happen. Totally. We get overwhelmed and, you know, things can just forgotten about. But it's an easy fix. It's not something that you're sick. It's not something that you got hurt and I'm not on it right away to say, okay, put ice on it. Do this, you know. That's an easy fix. Right.
No, I totally agree. But you care, you know, you care enough to know that you need to acknowledge it, and that you care enough to know that, you know, like Charles said, you know, end of a busy night, you know, the place is a mess in here, but we stay the extra hour and a half and we make it right for the morning, you know, before we go home. You know what I mean? I think that stuff just goes really far, I think, for people who are interested in it.
Definitely.
All right. So let me ask you both this. So how important do you think having a fitness trainer who can handle multiple fitness levels in the same classes? Because I think sometimes, you know, as new people come in, or maybe somebody's looking to take a class, you know, at any facility, they're a beginner, yet they're in there with people who've maybe have been doing this for maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. You know, how much of an important skill do you think a trainer should be able to handle those two fitness levels and give both people good experiences?
Well, if they are, if they have went through, if they're doing group training and they have went through the group, the group training certification, they're going to know how to read these people, and you're going to be able to pick those trainers out instantly. Are they watching the people, or are they worried about themselves? Are they, are they really watching the people? If you have 50 people in your class, are they looking to the back row and to the person that's all the way over, out of sight? Are they watching their form? Are they looking at their feet? And I feel like that's really important to know that not everybody in your class is going to be on the same level as you, as the instructor, or as the people in the front row, because usually the people in the front row have been there. And a lot of people, what they don't realize is that the back row is really, they're not even paying attention to what the instructor, they're looking at the people in the front row. So, that's your job. Like, hey, let them kind of do their thing. Michael, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. And I think I just lost you. One second. I'm going to pause the recording here, and then we'll reset here. Sorry, folks. All right, folks, we are back in action here, and Charlo and I were just kind of discussing trainers being able to handle multiple fitness levels in the same class, and how important that is to the user experience. And Charlo, on that topic, what were you saying about in addition to that?
I was just really talking about being able to read your crowd, and when you're picking a facility, a studio, a gym, really look, know the instructors there. Everybody starts somewhere. I get that. But what kind of actions have they took other than really just going online and copying some videos? Totally.
One thing that I really love seeing instructors do, and this is even like if I travel and I go to like another fitness facility, and I take a class maybe when I'm out of town, or just, I drop in somewhere, I can always tell how good the trainer is if their ability to have two people in a class, whatever, we'll say one beginner, one advanced, and that trainer can go to each of those people. He can give them maybe a modification, or for the more advanced person, give them a harder exercise to do. And he can challenge them both in their own unique ways. And at the end of the class, they both are feeling the exact same. Not necessarily they did the exact same workout. They might have modified or changed things. But at the end of the class, they both, are dripping with sweat, tired, being like, wow, that was awesome. So, and I think if trainers can get down with their clients in like a one-on-one type setting, even in a class, if they can somehow provide 30 seconds of one-on-one feedback, maybe 10 seconds of one-on-one feedback, just seeing somebody do that, being, hey, try this. I know you're more advanced. This is going to be harder for you. Just that little coaching cue right there can totally change the dynamic of that workout. And then they could go to somebody who's a beginner and be like, hey, that looks a little heavy. I know your shoulders aren't that strong yet. Let's give you this. And then this is going to help you really build that strength in the shoulders. And then giving that person that all in the same 30 seconds. Like, to me, I think that trainer, they know what's going on well. They have great control of the room. I think that's a big one.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100%. And a lot of times you can really be able to tell if they're really focusing on the individuals, because they will get down and, like say, for instance, we have a stage area. So, like we'll get down and we'll individually go out to people. And we always tell everybody, if they're doing a strength training class, especially if we single you out, it's not because we're, trying to make you feel uncomfortable or trying to single you out in front of the class. We're really just trying to save you from an injury, or one, like you said, give them a different challenge them a little bit, or maybe they're not on the same level as somebody who's been there attending that same, class for the last 6 months. Everybody's strengths are different.
Totally. And it's on the trainer. It's on the trainer, the coaches. That's their job, is to identify that and then fix it for both groups. Like, that's essentially what clients are paying for. That's the experience they want to have. Like, even though it is a group class, there is still that level of individual attention the trainer needs to give. Another thing I really like to switch was kind of into mind. Sorry, go ahead.
Really muffled. Do you hear the muffled?
On my end?
Yeah.
See if I can turn the Can you hear me better now?
No, it sounds like. All
right. So one other thing that I think is really important that trainers should keep in mind, or really, I'm sorry, that the client should keep in mind when they go in, they take a class, they try something out, is the attitude of the class responding to the demand of the trainer, of the coach. I think that's super important, because if you go into a class and the clients aren't respecting that trainer, they're kind of listening to them, but they're kind of talking in the background. That right there is kind of a little bit of a red flag that, hey, there's something going on. Why aren't people listening to this instructor? Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that happen before?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. And sometimes I mean, at the same time, I don't always think it's the trainer or the instructor. Sometimes
Fair.
You just have those individuals in class that are just disruptive.
Fair.
Or, you have those individuals that come to class and they're just like, it's their hangout time,
Right.
So, but I agree 100%. And it's very important, especially when you're having a strength training class. Mm-hmm. And, Zumba is kind of like a party and you're having a great time, the same thing, But if you're in a group fitness class with ripped and you're using weights and, you're doing plyometrics and, or you're in a circuit training class or a step class or something that you really need to follow direction. I agree 100%. I think if you look at the people around and if they're responding to that instructor, then, they obviously have some type of good rapport with them.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I think, I agree. I think it might not always be the instructor's fault. It could just be that those people in the class, are messing around. But, at the same time, in order for those other people to have a good experience, I think the instructor should have a strong enough personality to maybe address them after class, or maybe even address them in front of the class. You'd be like, hey, I'm talking. Can you guys, be quiet here a little bit? I want to explain this so everybody gets a good grasp on it. And it's tough for people to do.
For sure. And absolutely. So, and sometimes people are great. And we found this out many times, within Z-Pop. Sometimes people are great and people really respond to people as they're on the floor in the class. And then we bring them on and maybe they go get a certification or something. But then the people don't respond them or don't respect them as an instructor. So that really kind of weighs out. And as a business owner or even as an instructor, like people watch for that. And if class attendance, is dropping and, or maybe people, they just don't fit the part, or like you said, if they don't have that type of aggressive personality or enough to just keep the class in control. Mm-hmm. I mean, for a new person that, that's how we kind of make the decisions of leading in and out, instructors, because, sometimes people are great and then they just slip a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I very much agree with you. I think the instructor needs to be able, because ultimately the instructor is a leader. They're a leader to all those people that are in there. They're in, a leadership role where a lot of clients, they look up to the instructor. You know what I mean? It's kind of like somebody, they idolize through a fitness realm. They have their health down, they have their nutrition down, they work out daily. Like those are all really great qualities. And I think a lot of the times people who come in and they're looking at joining a gym or taking a class, they forget to or they look up to the instructor a lot and say, I think sometimes the instructor forgets that, eyes are always on them. And I think a lot of what they say or do, is going to go back onto their clients.
When you were talking about, while we're on that subject, while you were talking about, picking a facility and picking a gym, one thing, and when I'm traveling or even in the area, when people are asking me, different situations, what kind of, I check out the people's personal Facebook, because I feel it's huge. Like if they're a positive person and they're active in the community and they have a positive impact, or if they're throwing out all these negative things, or maybe they're out there, drinking and just 1 second.
Yeah. I hear you.
Sorry about that. But I feel like that's huge because, if maybe that person in their class is, or they're leading a class and they're this great positive person, but then on the outside, they're not really leading that life. I mean,
right.
Would you agree?
Yeah. No, I would totally agree. I couldn't agree more. I think if the person in that role, it's kind of like, you know, they need to represent the qualities of what a fitness trainer does, who they are, you know, and they don't necessarily have to be the most fit person. I think sometimes people, you know, I don't think that necessarily matters. I think the habits matter, or what they stand for, you know, how motivating, or how's their attitude, how optimistic are they? Like, I think those are qualities that you can have a really fit person who's a really shitty trainer, you know what I mean? Because, you know, they're negative and they have ego and they're not supportive, and regardless of how in shape that person is, that's still a fitness trainer that I would not recommend anyone to go to. You know what I mean? I'd rather have somebody who truly understands it. They're extremely supportive. They're optimistic. They're encouraging people. They're high-fiving them after class. They know their stuff. They're continuously educating themselves. They're watching YouTube video. They're going to seminars. You know, regardless, I think just representing the fitness style well is going to be enough for people. You know, they don't have to be, you know, Hulk Hogan ripped with a six-pack in order to get people to really believe in what they're doing.
I agree 100%. And I feel like, you know, we live by that. So as for myself, you know, like, I'm glad you brought that point up, because, you know, a lot of people, like I said, when I first got started, I said, you know, I'm going to wait till I reach my goals. I'm going to wait till I get back down to that goal weight. And, you know, what we hear a lot, and you'll see it a lot on our Facebook page, is like, people's watched my journey with them, and they know I'm educated. They come and they get a great class. So I can't agree with you more on that. Like, I feel like, you know, you don't have to be the most fit person, but you do have to lead the lifestyle that you're preaching.
Yeah, no, I would totally agree. And I really think, like, that's why when I was, you know, when we were putting together FitPass, you know, all of the gyms, all the studios, the instructors who were on it, like, I solely would stand by, and I would tell people, yeah, go take a class there. Like, the last thing I wanted to do was put together, you know, a fitness solution that I don't fully believe in people, you know, taking those classes. Like, all the gyms on FitPass, all the classes on FitPass, I vented them myself. I looked at them. Hey, these people are legit. They're doing a good thing. They're getting people tons of results, and let's bring them all together, and let's give people the ability, you know, to access them all, you know, in a way that they've never been given before. And I think that's so big, is, you know, having the best class of the best instructors on the platform, because ultimately that's what's going to get people results. You know, I mean, they're going to get results because they're going to the best in town, and they're doing, you know, the exercises, the program, you know, they're doing their strength training, they're doing their cardio, they're doing their flexibility, you know, and they're wrapping it all up into one. I think that's so big for people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And FitPass is like, you know, you're getting a variety of everything there. I mean, and what the only thing that's going to do is get you better results.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, I remember, you know, kind of just chatting about this with somebody, and it's like, you know, how fit is the marathon runner? Well, in society, the marathon runner is very, you know, looked upon as being the fittest, but, like, technically they're not. If you go to the other end of the spectrum, like, how fit is the power lifter? You know what I mean? On one end of the spectrum, yeah, they're extremely strong, but they can't run 400 meters. You know what I mean? But, like, taking the two and blend it, but then, like, you know, and on the basis of just, like, how fit is just the person who practices only yoga. It's like, you know, they have some really great flexibility, and I'm sure their body is very loose and limber, and they can move well, but how's their cardio? How's their strength? And the whole idea with, you know, with FitPass is combining all of those elements into one, where I can go and do my CrossFit class, and I can, you know, I can get strong, I can get a really killer sweat on. I can go and I can do my yoga class. You know, I can go and I can do my Zumba class where, you know, my joints aren't maybe going to hurt at the end. You know, I'm feeling good. I'm sweating high. The energy's, you know, bumping. I had a blast in there, you know, and then I can go and I can repeat it, and I can do all these different things. And, you know, I think it really beats people getting sick and bored, you know, for the first time, where, you know, even myself, and I've got bored doing fitness programs where it's like, oh, I got to do this 8-week program. Like, I'm bored after week 4, you know what I mean? So I think it's important to keep the fun and the energy there, because ultimately fitness is hard. Going to the gym, it's not easy to motivate yourself to get there every day, but if it's something that you can look forward to, then I think that motivation is going to come much easier for people.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. And, you know, and on that subject, keeping the variety for people really is making sure that your fitness place is attractive. Like you said, is getting a variety of those different workouts. And when we first started, like, that's why everybody knows us for Zumba, you know?
Yeah.
It was all Zumba. It was a Zumba studio. And So we really just attracted everybody who wanted to do cardio, lift weights. So a lot of people don't know that we offer a variety of different strength training classes. You know, we don't do a lot of the heavy lifting here. So with their combination of, hey, you know, I might want to go get some good cardio classes or a light strength training classes, you know, I might do that, but I want to go do some heavy, you know, lifting and really, you know, tone and build. I'm going to do some CrossFit. Right. I'm going to stretch that all out, or I might go to, you know, XT Fitness and really challenge myself there. So, and then at the end of the day, you know, I got to get that stretching in because stretching is important in the fitness, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole idea with it all, is just allowing people to do a little bit of all that. And so I think, you know, I'm excited to hear, you know, I'm excited to hear you talk about it. You know what I mean? I'm excited to hear other people talk about it. I'm excited when people try it, because I think, you know, it's a little different than, anything else that have been put out there. So I think it's cool for people to be able to, you know, hear it from a fitness professional being like, yeah, this is legit, go and try it. And, you know, just giving people the options for once.
You know, and I love the fact of FitPass too, is that a lot of people, you know, you get your regular customers, and, you know, and that's another thing that I always tell people to look for. Like, you know, we have customers that's been here since the day I taught my first class. So the retention, what kind of retention do they have?
That's a great point.
What kind of retention do they have with their instructors? And, you know, we have some instructors that's been here since we've opened, and we've had some that's been open and left, you know, and that's okay too, because people go on and they change, and, you know, things change in life, and, you know, that's but with the FitPass, what I love about that is that when people first saw me sharing it, and they're like, oh, I don't know about if I could go somewhere else. And I'm like, why? Like, it's showing that we're a community.
Absolutely. It's kind of like, you know, and I remember one of the first articles the newspaper did about it. You know, the lady called me and she was like, she was almost confused in a way. She was like, aren't these people like kind of like competition? Like, it's kind of interesting that all of them have came together to like contribute to one thing. And I remember telling her, I was like, you know, in a way, like, kind of, but in a way, not really, because when everyone is getting something that they need, like, each person is going to be attracted to a different type of fitness routine. And some people are going to be really attracted to CrossFit. Some people are going to be attracted to Zumba. Some people are going to be really attracted to FitPass. And it just depends on the person and their personality and what they like the most. And so the more options that are available to people, all in all, the more healthy and fit people are going to become, because they're finally going to find something that they resonate with the most, that they like doing. And that's ultimately the most important, is like finding what they want to really do over and over. And in reality, we're all in it together. You know what I mean? We're all in it together. I think the more fit our town is, the more people are going to be coming through our doors, because that's just the whole model. You know, I know, and I've actually seen, I forget where I've seen this, but I think it was like a Thomas Plummer book. And he's like a big like fitness analytical guru guy. And he was saying how he actually did studies that when more gyms opened up in a town, there was a certain level that all of those gyms grew in more member capacity than if there was just one gym in the town, because you now have 500 people going to whatever 3 gyms as compared to 200 people just going to one gym. So I remember that being really interesting, because when fitness is a lifestyle for people, they go and they talk about it on Saturdays with their friends, or they go to the soccer game. They're like, oh, hey, I went to this gym and worked out. And this person's like, well, I probably need to work out. You know what I mean? So there's just that social influence all around. They see him on Facebook doing it. Like, oh, you know, Billy works out. Maybe I'll go work out with Billy. Like, there's just more people supporting more people doing it. And I think bringing us all together, we're just supporting the community, you know, in their fitness-based lifestyle and getting them to the goals that they really want to get to.
Oh yeah, and I feel like everybody that's on the FitPass is active in the community at somewhere. You know, whether it be on you know, I see you in videos all the time, which is awesome. And Ali and I, we're not really we're learning the video, you know, videography and stuff, but you know, we're big on social media, and we are in person. You know, like, I'm an ambassador for the chamber, and you know, when we're out, you know, warming up 5Ks, or everybody's active community, and at the end result, we're all have the same goal, and that is to get somebody healthy and moving, you know, no matter what.
I couldn't agree more. And I think people forget that, you know, and I totally agree. You know, whether it's CrossFit, whether it's, you know, Z-Pulse, whether it's XT or hot yoga or downtown yoga or anytime fitness, you know, we all have the same, at the end of the day, our goal for everybody is to get people as fit and healthy as possible. And if we can support each other in that mission, then we're going to get there faster. More people are going to get fit faster, and we're all going to be, better off for it.
And even here, like, some people, they move on, they move on past what we have to offer, and so when, and like I said, we're both certified trainers, but, it's not really our specialty. So we will refer them outsource, or, we'll just say, hey, maybe, you want to get some heavy lifting in and you want to get some stats, we'll start reverting them. Or I say, hey, why don't you join the FitPass? Because a little bit of everything with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell people that a lot of times, like people that have came in through CrossFit and they're like, I don't know, what I want to do. I know I want to do this, and this. Like I've even told them, like, hey, do FitPass, because I think at the end of the day, you're going to be more successful on that platform than if I just told you, hey, join CrossFit and do this, because ultimately it needs to be what's best for that person. And once again, everybody is unique, and that's major for people.
And for myself, like I think it gives everybody a variety of option for a great price.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And thanks for that. So what I want to do here, I know we have a couple minutes left. I kind of just want to go down and kind of recap all of the things that we just touched on here throughout the last 45 minutes, on how to choose, a fitness trainer, or how to screen a fitness professional and know that the class that you're taking is going to be what you're looking for yourself. It's going to get you the goals you need in the safest, fastest manner. So with that being said, I think, I'm just going to kind of go down the checklist, and feel free to, kind of butt in on it. But I just want to give a recap for the listeners here. Does the studio have an attitude environment, an environment you're comfortable with? Are people coming in and, do you like being there? Is it friendly? How long has the instructor been, are they experienced? How long have they been doing it for? How long have they been teaching? Do they have multiple certifications? Did they get it in a weekend online, or, did they travel and, and do, a couple-day course and go that route? How is everyone's fitness levels, or how does that coach, trainer, instructor manage multiple fitness levels in the class? Are they paying attention to the beginner? Are they paying attention to the person who maybe has been there for 6 months and giving them both the most appropriate workout? Is it clean? How clean is the facility? Are their bathrooms clean? Is there enough space, enough equipment? Is the layout of the gym good for everybody? Is it safe? What's that specific instructor's instructing style, teaching style, coaching style? What is that like? Are they maybe a little bit more like edgy? Are they maybe a little bit more soft? Are they maybe a little bit more motivating? Are they more of a cheerleader? Or like, what's that style, and do you like their style? What's the community like? Are others in the class supporting you? Are they listening to the instructor? Did I miss any on that?
Their education, where they're education, how they I feel like how the instructor responds to their members as well. Are they greeting everybody? Do they know everybody by name? I mean, when there's 500 people coming through a week, you can't always do that, but eventually, if they're coming regularly, you should know their name.
Totally. No, I absolutely agree. If somebody walks in the door, you should know their name and know who they are. Because once again, that just goes back to like, how clean are your bathrooms? Do you know your people? Like, those are just small things. Well, I wouldn't even call it, I think those are big things personally, but they're little things that add up to a really big picture. And when those things go
walk in and does that trainer or does that fitness instructor really want to be in that class?
Yeah, that's very true.
Or are they just there collecting their paycheck, or are there, or whatever it may be in that type of environment, but and are they making the fitness fun? Because I feel like making fitness fun and at the end of the day, people remember how you made them feel.
Yeah, absolutely. One quick thing I want to ask you before we jump off: what classes should some FitPass users be looking out for to take at Z-Pulse this week? What are some awesome classes you guys have going on right now? What classes you want to see people at?
Well, we actually have our new schedules coming out for December.
Awesome.
And so we're actually have a couple added classes. So we've been teaching hip hop step in Fostoria for months, and it's packed. People love it. It's intense. And it's given a different variety. And also we have Zumba Strong coming, and Zumba Strong is, it's not the typical Zumba class. So this is all, like a HIIT program.
Love it.
So there's no dancing involved at all. And, as we were talking before, like you said, sometimes people can come in and, if they're lifting, they need that cardio And
totally.
That's a great way for them to experience something like that. That's not dancing. And then we also have our Ripped on the schedule. And, we got a lot of new things coming. And we're really rebranding ourselves from just people knowing us as just Zumba to, variety of. I actually had a girl come in on the FitPass, and she's like, I had no idea you guys did this drumming stuff, It's good.
Yeah, it is good. I think people forget that too, because I think, and that's awesome to hear that you say you have these new classes coming out. Because I think people forget that a lot of these gyms on, these studios on FitPass, they offer multiple kinds of classes. Like just because maybe their name is like CrossFit, their name is Z-Pulse, their name is yoga, they have a lot of other classes going on inside there. So I think it's really important. I encourage all people on FitPass when they sign on board. I'm like, hey, look at all these gyms and studios schedules, because a lot of the time it's not what you think. There's a lot of other things going on there.
And
so
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when are those new classes being offered? Do you have a time set yet that people should look out for them for?
December. So next week we're going to start the December schedule.
Awesome.
And, it's going to be a revamped schedule. We have some new instructors that are going to be coming, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And one's got 15 years of experience. She's just so fit and a beast. And we got another girl that's going to be coming on, that she's been with us since I've started my first class, and she's got a huge result.
Great.
So we have some new things coming, and also for the month of December, we're doing check-in on Facebook, and you get $2 off the class. So
awesome.
Yeah,
that's a sick deal. So if you're there, check in on Facebook, get a couple bucks off your class, check it out. Charro, any last words you want to share with anybody before we jump off?
No. Ali, you have anything you want to share?
Yeah, happy holidays to everyone. I don't need so much. I know it's that.
That's great.
That's what we open for, to help you guys out, burn it right off.
Yeah, well, that's totally. One thing we really didn't touch on when we were talking about that is the nutrition.
Yeah.
And Ali, as you can hear every time he's talking about it, he's always talking about, he wants to know what's going in your mouth rather than what kind of workout you did.
Yeah, absolutely. Right there he is, drinking a shake, getting lean, staying fit. I love it. Yeah, we could probably do another episode just on the nutrition elements that need to go into it. And maybe we'll have to do that sometime. We might have to jump on another one and do an entire nutrition show. So good stuff. Both, thank you very much for being here, and keep doing great things in the world.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, for having us.
Okay. Bye.